Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Rush Hour podcast. I'm Andy, one of your co-hosts. And first, we got to shout out our sponsors who help support us and give us a little cash. But also, we can help you save on some of these great products and support us. First off, we have Live Large. They're located out of Ohio, and Live Large makes really awesome apparel, and they're big supporters of the powerlifting community. So check them out. Use code PENSON to save. Next, we have Zone Smelling Salts, makers of the strongest ammonia ever. They have some options that I can't even touch, but they also offer a wide variety from mild ones, the medium ones, and the hard hitting ones. My personal favorite is the Zone Dry. So head to zonesmellingsalts.com and you again use code PENSON. I have one too, but go ahead and support Chad. And last but not least, Iron Rebel. I'm personally biased because I'm part owner, but we make high quality powerlifting and bodybuilding gear and apparel. And check them out at ironrebel.com. And again, use Penson to save. This will give Chad some kickback. So shout out to Chad and hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Of these a couple months. So you get like this seltzer feel, but like you hold it in your hand, you kind of still feel like a dude drinking. Not like you cover it up. It's like, oh, it's like a Miller. Or, it could be something passable. You know what I mean? But there's electrolytes in here. I'm
listen. It's the male version of White Claw, so whatever.
Dude, they're not bad.
I've had some. Yeah, it's okay.
Chad, what are you doing at Lowe's today, man?
I was assisting my beautiful wife in getting plant shit.
Plant shit. I got plant shit all over my house. I know about that.
Yeah, you don't have to water it though.
I feel like it's different plant shit, but we can go with it. Got the boring plant shit.
Can you?
What's up, Kiko?
Kiko, can you explain to me, or us, the audience, too, women's obsession with plants?
Dude, I think it's because they're kind of like they're in the same category as like having pets,
Yeah.
But they're not like kids. Like they're not as much responsibility as children are. And yeah. I mean, if you kill a plant, you can always just buy it. So.
Okay.
You can't just buy it.
Kill a plant.
They'll be like, she has like if I say like there's 90, like that's like an accurate number.
No, we don't have 90 plants.
There's like 90. And so like there's like they're like all over the place and stuff like that, but like some will get like a little more attention. It's like I'll like walk by one and it's like a little crunchy, and I'm like, this boy needs a drink or he needs a little TLC.
I've definitely killed a few. Like I haven't been as like on my shit with the plants. So there's definitely been some casualties recently, but it'd be like that sometimes.
Damn. Well, we had a couple casualties laying around the house too, but you didn't hear that from me.
Dude, so everyone starts the podcast off always thinking you're in like a sauna. Like it definitely doesn't look like a sauna. Like
it is a sauna.
There's a sauna there, but you're not like in the sauna. You know?
I know. I'm not in the sauna. I should just start doing it from in the sauna.
You're doing a podcast in a sauna right now, dude.
That's hard.
Do you have a sauna in your house?
Yeah.
Damn. That's hella bougie.
Listen, how much did your 90 plants cost? Okay. Less than my sauna. So we'll see.
It's redistribution.
And still, and you don't have to keep your sauna alive either. So you have to like get new ones. What do you say? Damn.
All right. So if everyone or anybody who's not familiar, we have Shane Haller and Kiko. I don't know the last name. Fredette?
I don't have a last name.
Okay.
Stu Kiko Fredette.
Yeah.
Let's go with the government name.
E and Co.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising how many people actually don't know my name. Because Kiko's not my real name either.
No, I know. It's either Trapeziusqueen, I just shorten it, or Kiko.
Yeah, I feel like whenever like I would go to meets and stuff, like some people, I think people just get confused and sometimes aren't sure of how to like pronounce Kiko even, let alone my actual name. And so like they just don't want to mispronounce it, and so they'll just like say my Instagram name instead, which is fine. But
That's always weird at powerlifting meets where it's like you'll meet up, like you'll be in the same space as like a bunch of people that either talk online or like have like seen each other online or whatever, but like we're also all kind of like, I wouldn't say all of us, but like a good chunk are like weird introverts too, or like are passive aggressive about it. So it's like you'll have talked to somebody for like, you know, a while online, then you see them at a meet, you just cross by each other, you don't even make eye contact, or you know not to make eye contact, you know?
You're so much more shy, and then later after the meet you're like, oh man, sorry we didn't talk much.
After party, you get a couple drinks and you're all friendly with everybody.
for real though.
Is that like a thing that's like, I mean, like Andy's been doing meets longer than I have, or at least the big ones. I feel like at least like since 2020, like every time I'll go to like a bigger meet or something like that, there's always like a humongous after party, or like everyone meets up somewhere. Like it's like there's like a giant collective of people that just like go hard after the meet, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's always been like that or if that's like a newer deal or what, but
I think I think it just depends on the crowd or the group. Because like I guess you could just say like Chad is part of like a big group that always likes to party after, and I just hang out and join them. But I don't personally don't party, but you know, after the meet, it's like you either get dinner and then you just all like go do something, because like because you these are all like, you know, kind of your friends and your colleagues, and you don't see them all the time, and this is kind of like your chance to hang out. And
it almost like kind of, especially because it's like it's generally like in a place like you haven't been or something like that. Like we were just in Texas last weekend,
right,
and we had a giant Airbnb. It was me, Dan Bell, it was Tom Callis, it was Cam, Shane Hunt, Dawson, Enrique Lugo was staying. Like it was like there was like 10 of us, you know what I mean? Derek, Death Grip Derek and his girlfriend or his wife were coming over after, and like it just ends up being a big party, and you just hang out with everybody that was at the meet and stuff like that. Like it just turns into like a whole big, like, you know, vacation trip almost, you know what I mean?
I think the bigger meets are like that, and that's what's cool about it. And maybe just with now that COVID's over and also Airbnbs are more popular and social media is just like everyone's more friendly and talk to each other, I think it has grown to that. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool that. So
I feel like the Kern was the first, at least for me, that was the first big meet I went to where it was like a legit party afterwards. And then I feel like every big meet after the Kern, it just kind of, it's like the same people go to every meet usually. And so then after that, it was like everybody's like, all right, well, this is what we're doing. We're just gonna like get plastered after every meet.
Well, yeah, and most people have, you know, either stopped drinking or cut down a lot of their stuff before the meet, and then after me, it's like, you know, YOLO.
Like the only time I do anything is
like Chad's notorious for getting fucking shit faced after a meet.
2021 we were all there.
I'm just chilling.
After everything was done on the girls' day, dude, we all went to the bar after, and it was like literally everybody from the meet was at the bar. There was like at least probably like 70 of us, and it was like, I don't know, I was faded that night for sure. So.
Yeah.
I would love to do that, but like not after a meet, because like usually for me I have to like fly out the next day, and you kind of like have to be a little bit more careful. But it'd be cool if like, let's just say like our group of friends were like, I'll just say like our Iron Robo athletes, all of us are most of us are going to do the American Pro, but if we could do like a weekend of just training camp, and we all just get like, we all stay at a house, train together and hang out, and that'd be cool too.
That would be sick. I've been watching like a lot of the stuff with like the World's Strongest Man, like that's this weekend. So there's been like a whole like lead up to that. Like all those guys have like hella successful YouTube channels and everything.
Yeah.
And Brian Shaw, like he like literally flies dudes out. Like so it becomes part of his content, but he gets training out of it too. And he's literally having like the best of the best guys like stay at his house like during the time and stuff like that. And I mean, it'd be kind of cool because I mean, like once like it's like let's talking about like last weekend, like, you know, like I said, me, Dan, Shane Hunt, Derek, Blake LaHue, like we're all like at the same meet, and it's like it's no different than any other big meet. Like you're getting pushed just based on the fact that like there's other legit people there. Like you're all going against like the dots or the coefficient score kind of a thing. So like kind of like you want to up your game. You know what I mean? So if you could train like that leading in, I'm fortunate enough. Like Dan lives probably like 3 hours from here or whatever. So like Craig and I will hop in the car like early on a Saturday and we'll go drive over to train with him, or he'll come over this way. And Chad's up in Florida. We've been trying to set up a little squat session here for a little bit before that blowout a couple months ago, but we were on track for it.
Yeah, that's 6 hours though, boy. Whoo.
Yeah, you guys are like in Alabama basically.
That's fucking boonies.
I didn't know that where you guys are is a different. He just told me that like right before.
Yeah, I'm an hour ahead. Well behind, my bad.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. I used to we back before the last Kern, we used to drive down about 3 hours to train with Andy and John and to make content. That was fun.
It's fun, but like the drive, it's like driving that, like after getting out of the car for 3 hours and you got to do a heavy ass squat, like that warm up's got to be good to feel nice. When you drive back, you get out of that car and your back is frozen in that like position, dude. Like you're like waddling out of the car, like fuck.
The drive back is the worst. Everything is just sore. Your back's fried. You're sitting there stuck for 3-4 hours. Nah, wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't go back and change anything. It was great.
I honestly like just don't drive anymore. Especially after moving to Florida, like nobody here knows how to drive.
That's
and
a fact.
every time we have to drive anywhere, I make him drive because I won't deal with it.
But it's the same thing when we go to California. Like I don't like driving in California either. Like that scares the shit out of me. So like she drives. Like Chad, you've been in both spots. Like where do you sit on that?
Florida's worse.
I'm not gonna lie. Florida is worse because I feel like they drive crazy for like no reason. And then California, you kind of have to drive crazy to get where you're going and to be safe.
There's
So
a
it's
whole
like, at least
range
there's
of
a
crazy
reason.
drivers in California. That passenger lane or whatever. There's a
Bro.
whole lane for it.
Hey,
just stay away from that. Stay in your lane, Shane.
Stay in your lane.
The lane splitting though with the motorcycles is probably the wildest shit in California. But
What?
the lane splitting with the motorcycles going through the lanes, like when you're stuck in traffic.
Oh yeah, like they're just like
you won't see them, and then you're like, oh, I can cut in this lane real quick. You just lost a mirror.
Well, people here don't even wear helmets, like on motorcycles, because I don't think it's like a law or anything, but I'm pretty sure in California it is. And so we'll see people on their motorcycles just like driving around without a helmet, and every time I'm like, that's a horrible idea. Like, why would you?
Floridians have fear. I don't think it's a.
Florida man,
No, they
dude.
don't.
It's a mascot.
It's an ignorant fear. Ignorant fear. Yeah.
It's like a big ball.
Nothing's gonna happen to me.
Do something. Yeah.
Yeah, like when we had the hurricane here last year, like I had never experienced anything like that in my whole life. And so I was asking him, I said, okay, so what are we supposed to do? Like, how are we going to prepare for this? And he was like, well, he's like, let's buy a 6-pack of beer and like some snacks and
just wait it out
and some water.
So we literally got snacks, like literally like we went to like Target maybe like 2 days before. And like this is like, I don't know, I think it's like you're saying like the ignorant fear thing, like you're not like afraid of consequences. Like I've grown up in hurricanes, like they suck, but like as soon as you get through it, you kind of have that like, well, that wasn't that bad, even though it was like it's still scary and stuff kind of deal. And so we went to Target, like she got like hot Takis, I got like a case of Miller, and then she got like margarita mix, and like that was it. Like I didn't think the power was gonna go out. So like
and our power went out for 3 days.
Yeah. And so like, and you don't realize like when your power goes out like that, the only thing you care about is just keeping the food in your fridge from like not being bad. Like I got meat in there, you know what I mean? Like I got a lot of money in that fridge.
Well,
anything else like that. So like we got getting a generator. It was just like, it was so ghetto rigged. It was like outside, there was cords running through the house, like plugged into the fridge, and like we're sleeping and it's like hot. I don't have my CPAP, so it's like worse than a hangover. You're sweaty, you're like snoring, you're like feeling like you have the worst headache of your life. Like
yeah, we had a mental breakdown. Like on the second day, we literally because there's no AC, and like he slept like shit because he didn't have his CPAP, and so like we're just laying on the bed, like staring at the ceiling, like literally just like fuck, like just on the verge of like losing our shit, and then we like slept separately because he needed the generator to plug his fucking CPAP in, and so I slept upstairs because it was like I forgot why. I think it was cooler up something. And then in the middle of the night, all of the lights came on.
3 a.m. It was like
Yeah.
the biggest, like we like hugged each other like it was like we made it type deal. You know what I mean? Like
Who say
so
that?
wow.
Damn.
Which Chad, you grew up in Louisiana, right?
Yeah. Well, I grew up
Yes.
in Memphis, but a little bit of both.
Okay, yeah. When I lived in Louisiana, they like had parties for hurricanes. They were like ready for that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a hurricane party.
It's like a brotherhood in like Louisiana, Florida, hurricane party. It's just
Yeah, I never heard
that sucks. There's no power, no CPAP. Kiko's probably I can't hear, can't sleep.
Andy, do you have a CPAP? You're like right around the same size. You should probably need one.
So it's weird. So I already hit 290 in high school. So I've been big my whole life, and I never needed one till I was like, I would say like early 30s, like 32, and that's when it really bothered me, and I was like choking in the middle of the night. So I got a CPAP, but then after like 2-3 years, I stopped needing it. So now like I snore, but not as bad, and I'm sleeping okay. So I don't know if it was stress or just that time in my life, but right now I don't need a CPAP.
I almost like because I feel like I used to like snore super bad in college when I was like 230. So I don't think it's like necessarily a weight thing. Like obviously like being bigger now probably adds to it, but like even if I like didn't necessarily need it, I still feel like I would wear it. Like it's kind of like a baby with a pacifier for me now. Like I just throw that thing on and it's like a cue. It's like, all right, bedtime. You know what I mean? Like I am out for 8 hours. I can track my sleep. Like I'm all about that thing. And then like as far as like, I don't know, performance wise, I mean, I literally from one meet to another, I took like a year off. I went from like 320 pounds with a 2,028 pound total in wraps to I got down to like sub 300. I got a dietitian and I got a CPAP, and I added like 200 pounds in my total in the span of like 14 months or something like that. Went up to a 2,200 pound total. So I mean, I definitely think like the sleep aspect wise of it, man. I mean, it's definitely big.
Yeah. Chad, you don't need one, right? Or do you?
I got one, bro.
Look at that neck. What do you mean does he have one?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's I'm still in the point of getting used to it. Like I got mine at like I want to say January or February. I got mine like right when I was getting through my injury and shit.
Okay.
And I think it helps a lot. Like I definitely feel better when I sleep with it. But it's like I'm still getting used to it. So I'm like in that 3 to 5 hour range.
Do you have the like the nasal one or like the full mask?
I got the full. I got both, but I've been using the full mask.
Dude, mouth breather, dude. You got it. That's the way to go.
Yeah. Otherwise, I got to use that fucking chin strap to keep my mouth shut. I'm just like, I don't want all that fucking shit.
Dude, you just gotta start taping your mouth shut. Like I don't do that. Well, I did it like once because I wanted to start like because I was a mouth breather like hella bad, and so I was like, I need to start like training myself to fucking like breathe through my nose when I'm sleeping. And I was telling him about it, and I was like, I'm gonna start taping my mouth shut at night. So I did it one night, and then I kind of realized like I don't really need the fucking tape.
I thought she was gonna like die in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like she's literally just like taping her mouth shut. I was like, what if you need to breathe and like you just can't get enough through your nose or something like that?
But I'm not a mouth breather anymore. Like even when I sleep, I don't really think I do it.
I'll be a mouth
anymore.
breather. That's okay.
I feel like I need some strong ass tape to take my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I want to breathe, I'm just gonna like I'm gonna open my mouth.
Stop it.
Fucking yeah, with some fucking duct tape.
So
I just don't feel like they're feeling.
I think that's part of it because like when you breathe through your mouth, it's easier because it's just like you just take air in and out. But when you breathe through your nose, it's like it like trains like the muscles in your diaphragm a little bit more and like all this other bullshit, whatever. But it's supposed to be a lot better for you. Like the air is a lot more pure, and like you can like something about like oxygen absorption. Like you can basically like absorb more oxygen by being a nose breather. So yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
start.
I mean, I can take a lot through my mouth. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
We get it. We get it.
Just had the other Shane we're here to talk about nasal breathing. I think that's his thing too. So
That's almost like the thing too. Like if it's like the knee over toes guy, like I'm sure that's beneficial, but do you have to do everything over knee over toes? You know what I mean? It's like everything nasal breathing. I almost don't like it's like too gimmicky, you know what I mean? I don't know.
yeah. I mean,
I talked to him about it. Like he wasn't like I think like he was getting more trolled online by kids than anything else. Like it came off like he was like adamant about it. He was just like, no, dude. I mean, it's better for you. Like it was just like that casual. You know what I mean? He wasn't like fired up about it.
I dig it.
Yeah, I think there's just degrees of like how serious you want to take everything, or how.
Yeah.
If you read one thing, you could totally go that way. You know, like okay, people now want to do. Okay, you got cold plunge first thing in the morning. You gotta get sun walking. Then you can do some infrared sauna and fucking all these peptides. Like it's endless how much shit you can like get caught up in. Versus like, you know, sometimes you just need to like sleep better, eat better. Like, yeah.
Like
But definitely sleep is definitely like the biggest thing that's like very direct.
Yeah.
You can see a benefit from that other than all that other shit.
It's kind of funny, like they just talk like just going to like these bigger meets, and you talk to other people, and it's like you want to pick their brain. So it's like, what are you doing that's making you successful that I maybe am not doing, or maybe I can incorporate and stuff.
I buy a sauna.
Yeah, fuck, I need to get a sauna now, dude. Like, and but just like little things like that, and it's like you'll listen to certain people, and you're like, okay, like they take it, you know, like they're very like meticulous about like their routine and like the things they work in and stuff like that. And then you just talk to other people, and it's like they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's just like it makes you mad almost. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like, I go through this whole thing, and like I have to have everything XYZ, otherwise I'm not going to feel right or perform right. And it's like other people just do, and it's like it's cool to watch that because you're just like, oh, like you're supposed to be doing this, but then it's just like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like I tried so hard.
Yeah. I think I'm one of the people I just keep my shit as simple as possible, because I feel like if I get too like over like anal about some shit, it just fucks me all up because I'm not that fucking organized.
So you know what works for you at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like every time like you start ramping up a prep or like getting in your off season, like you're on that camber bar on the squats, like you're doing like big old volume sets on bench and stuff. Like that's not gonna work for everybody, but for you, like obviously, you know, record squat, like huge total, like, you know, you found the right mix for yourself, you know what I mean? It's like same thing with me, Andy, like or Kiko, like everyone's got like, you know, different kind of training that's gonna work for them and stuff. And some, even if it's like, you know, talking about like the people that don't need it to be as optimal, you know, like some people can literally just walk in and hit like a fat single and then go home. Like,
cool, I'm ready.
Me, but you know, that would be nice.
Yeah. I think everybody finds their like their kind of like find your stride, but I mean, it's been 10 years, 11 years now so far for me. So
yeah, it's a lot of trial and error and kind of just seeing like what works, and like almost like doing it for like that period of time, like almost just kind of hammers into yourself that like, okay, like this is just the way it's going to work for me kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you make your own whatever's going to be beneficial for you.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Like for me now, since I'm almost 40, I'm at a point where like I can't kind of do the same thing I've always done. I'm trying to look for like other things that I can do that will help me progress, because I have been so plateaued for like 4 years. So that's why like
you're
this
right now though, dude. PR total last meet. You're trending like this right now.
Even 5 kilos. It
doesn't matter. Even if it's all been like this, you're still here right now.
I understand, but I don't want another 5 years doing the same thing just to get 5 kilos. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, that's like momentum. This last meet was the first one I've ever not PR'd my total, you know what I mean? And like
Right.
obviously like it's still a good total and it's sweet, but like it's not you know, I went backwards, you know what I mean? So for me,
Yeah.
it's like I'm almost like the same thing you're saying. Like I'm looking for like any little thing at this point to sit there and like try and incorporate. Like talking to Blake LaHue, he was talking to me about like it's called like MAT therapy, and it's like a different kind of like, you know, it's kind of like PT, it's kind of like massage therapy or whatever, but he swears by it. And I'm like, all right, well, he's strong as shit. So I bought 5 packages, you know, 5 sessions worth of that the other day. Or like talking to Shane Hunt and Derek, like they love those rucks. Like Brad Crawford, he loves doing those rucks. And like, all right, well, shit, I need to buy, I need to buy a weighted vest and start doing some rucks. You know what I mean? Like maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but you know, I got some time to figure it out. So I'm gonna try and get my hand into everything if it's gonna get some benefit. So
Yeah, let's talk about fuck the Pioneer while we're at it. So, because I haven't heard a lot of people like really out like explain more about the meet. So like, was there like, because you know a lot of the bigger lifters didn't do as well as we thought. Is
yeah.
there something about like the conditions, the meat, the equipment that we didn't hear about, or
No, I mean, I'll be honest where I say like I think as far as like actually being at the meet, like I know I've heard like negative, you know, just like not like rave things about like the live stream because it wasn't A1, like they do like the best kind of deal and stuff. But as far as like actually being in a meet, I mean, it was probably I thought production wise, like probably one of the better meets I've been to in the sense that like it was humongous. Like there was an entire back warm up room where, I mean, if there was, you know, 15 people a flight, 12 people a flight, there was 4 platforms. So there was like no more than 3 guys to a platform, all kilo plates, all brand new Texas bars in the back to warm up on, all new combo racks. I mean, the stuff we were using out there was great. Um, it was kind of funny that like literally like if Blake got first, Derek got second, I got third. Blake went 4 for 9. Derek went like 5 for 6. I went 5 for 9. And those were your best lifters of the day. You know what I mean? I think Dan went 5 for 8. Shane might have been 5 for 9 or 6 for 9 or something like that. But like it almost kind of made you feel, I don't want to say better, but it's like if everyone's having a bad day, but we're all still gutting it out, and it's like, you know, no one's having the day they want, but we're all still out there fighting and like, you know, swinging for the fences for these big lifts and stuff like that. So that part was kind of cool, but I don't know. I don't. There wasn't anything like specifically at the meet. I think it was just one of those things that's like we're all kind of like at the cusp. You know what I mean? Like I'm shooting for that world record total, which is like 2370. So I mean, I'm at 2347 last February in Miami. So I'm only like 20. I don't know what's the math on that. Like, it's like 23 pounds away, right? But like
yeah,
when you were chasing after the 275 record when it was 226, I mean,
I was
that
27 pounds away.
yeah, that's a big 27 pounds. You know what I mean? So it's like if you add up all the lifts I hit during the day, like the world record squat that it would have been a 928, the 562 bench, and then I'm kind of kicking myself. I probably should have done like an 880 deadlift, but I just did enough to get the 2303 total. But all that adds up to the record. So it's like my total was way less, but like if you're that close, like if I would have hit like a 2358, like I would have been pissed because it's like you're even closer, but you're still that far from like, so you have to swing for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like even like Blake, like I think he went 4 for 9, but he matched his world record total off of 4 for 9. Derek hit like a 20-pound total PR going 5 for 9. You know what I mean? He did like 2 attempts, and 1, and then basically like hit a big fat total PR. So it's like when you're swinging for those big numbers, I think it's going to be kind of hit or miss. You know what I mean? It's hard to be your best every single time out, but you want to be.
Yeah. But your training leading up to was it went pretty well, right? You hit
it was definitely the
PRs.
best. Yeah, best training cycle I've ever done. I never really hit like even like my openers really like in prep or anything like that. I kind of hit everything like a double, like just underneath. But if everything moves fast, then you know I feel pretty confident. This last prep, my squat was a little. I mean, I squat pretty wide, and I think Chad can kind of attest to it because he squat. If like you had a squat wide in those wraps, the way you squat in the monolift, like it would be a bitch to walk about. And so
That's
like
why I
I
don't
got,
walk
you know,
out.
I was really happy with how I walked everything out. It was just, you know, I just wasn't strong enough on the day, but that was like the major. You can ask her. Like I was in like our living room, like, you know, the week before the meet, like literally like doing the walkout, like, you know what I mean? Just like
Literally.
practicing it in like the living room, like in my underwear, just like one step, two step, like wide, needs to be wide, you know what I mean? Like you get kind of obsessive over the stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a great meet. And I think
Okay.
the coolest thing was that I mean, I know for Texas it was the biggest cash or money meet they've ever had, but it was like $110,000 worth of prize money. So like
Yeah.
not like three people walked out of there, or you know, six people or whatever walked out with a ton of money. Like I
Hella
mean,
people.
hell, at least like I don't know, 10 of people that were in our immediate friend group walked
Yeah.
out with at least a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody, you know what I mean? So it was like that part was I thought really cool. So everyone gets that like big meat feel kind of experience. You had some of the best lifters in the world competing with people where it's like their second or third meet. So like if I was that, you know, that newbie guy and I got to compete with, you know, people I look up to, or, you know, people that are like hitting these crazy numbers, like be fired up about that. And you get paid a little bit if you place in your weight class or whatever. So like overall, I mean, like Pioneer put on a super awesome meet. That the meet was put on by the entire USPA Texas crew too. So
Yeah.
I mean, like they're the ones that used to do the tribute meets back in the day, and like they run a tight meet. So I mean, every one of my squats got passed was like a 2-to-1. Like it was just like, you know, like I had to look over. I was like, did I get it? Did I get it? You know what I mean? Usually I'm pretty good. So they weren't giving anything away. So the judging was strict. The only thing that sucked was it was that whole unsanctioned thing going in. So like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
released the meet, you know, last year, and we all hopped on board, and there was a bunch of dropouts kind of leading up to it. And then like 3 months out, they come out with the whole thing where, you know, we're gonna not the USPA, it's gonna be unsanctioned or whatever. And like, you know, I'm trying to hit a world record total. There's a lot of people that are trying to hit, you know, big numbers and stuff. And you're just kind of like, well, do I want to do this meet? Do I not want to do this meet? And ultimately, I mean, it ended up going up on open powerlifting anyway. And, you know, I didn't hit the record total anyway. So I mean, if I was gonna miss it at one meet, it was okay. It was this one. But
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, it was still, I mean, I had a great experience, you know what I mean? It was definitely a fun meet. I had a blast with all the guys in the back. I mean, there was at one point, because Dan usually drinks the meets, but Shane Hunt was like putting them down that weekend. So like we're all drinking in the back. We have people that are with us, they're drinking out in the crowd, and they literally stop the meet like right in the middle of bench, and they're just like, we just want to let everybody know that this is an alcohol-free convention center, and there can be no alcohol found whatsoever, or they will shut us down and kick everyone out. So please put your alcohol away. Dan's drinking something, Shane's drinking something. Like we have like a whole like tailgate crew drinking, and I was just like, oh shit. But no man, it was fun. Like the whole meet, you know, top to bottom, it wasn't you know, like performance wise, I can look at it and be like, it wasn't my best day, but like as far as like at a meet, having fun with people that, you know, like people you don't see all the time, you know, I mean, people, my friends that live in Texas or California or Kansas City or whatever, you know, I mean, everyone comes from all over. You get to see them once or twice a year, so you want to really try and make the most of it. And you know, it was a good time for sure. I'm going to remember that one.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So what's your next meet then, Shane?
So I'm looking at one that's going to be in December. It's going to be like a local meet. The last like 3 or 4 I've traveled for, so I figured, you know, probably do something local so like my friends and family can be around and stuff like that. Jordan Wong's putting it on.
Okay.
So he puts on RPS meets in Florida, but they're good RPS meets where they're not like letting everything kind of go. They're not using those crazy green plates or whatever. So he puts on a quality RPS meet. Like he gives it a good name. But so he's putting that meet on, and it gives me like 8, you know, I think looking at it, and we all kind of write this stuff down, like 33 weeks to kind of deload from this meet, get ready, and just kind of ramp back up and you know, take another crack at it. It'll be in a monolift, which is, you know, what the records in the total and the squat record are both in a monolift, so that makes it a little bit easier. And I'll be the first one to say that, a mono lift is definitely easier than a walkout. You know what I mean? I got the record, but
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say it. So
Whose record is it?
so the total record is Larry Wheels. He
Larry's,
did it
okay.
at the XPC finals back in 2020, but the squat record is mine. I hit that last year. So that's at 925. So if I can
Okay.
push that up like 10 pounds or whatever, and then 5 on my bench, and then like a 880, 903 pull, that'll be right around 2400. And then so that gives me a little wiggle room if I fuck one of those attempts up, 2370 right on the dot, and then
Yeah.
that'll be it. So
This question's for both you and Chad. Does 920 feel any different from 850 on your back?
not on my back, but out of the hole. That's when
Oh,
so like I walked out that 928 and I was like, oh, I got this. Like this is fuck yeah, you know what I mean? And then you go down to the bottom, you're like, oh shit. It's like it's that quick. But I don't know, I definitely think out of the because you get so hyped up, like if you're braced and especially in a mono lift, like all you can do is look up. So I mean, if you're coming up like that, like I don't think you're really going to notice too much of it. But like when you start coming up and like actually have to fight through it, that's probably when I'll feel the difference or not. But
okay.
Yeah, I think 850 to 920. It feels roughly the same, and I honestly can't lie. I think it's all heavy, but it's like okay, I got this. But the one thing I can tell you is different is coming out of the hole with like 1,000 or going into the hole with 1,000.
I was about to ask. That was like
that's the only one I can tell you.
925, but 925 to 1050.
Yeah, like on your back, it's like cool. It feels good, like you said earlier. Like you're braced, everything's good, but it's like your body knows. Your brain is like, cool, I got this, but then your body's like, no, the fuck you don't. Bro. I think you just get to a point. I mean, all three of us know this too. Like you get in the 800s, it's like it all feels heavy, and you get in that mental state, and you start going down with that shit, and it all just feels good and heavy. But
Yeah,
it just comes down to your body's like, you got this today, or motherfucker, you don't.
I don't know about you guys. I feel like for me, like the last warm up was kind of like that almost felt worse at this last meet than anything else. Like I did my last warm up and it was kind of rushed because like they were telling us there was going to be a break and there wasn't. So I was like, okay, shit, gonna load it up. And I took my last one and I came up and I was like, well, all right. And then you go out there, like, there's some, you know what I mean? Like fuck. But something about like I mean, obviously it's like you go out there and like everyone's screaming and yelling and then I like start screaming and yelling and that kind of gets me going and stuff too. But I don't know, that opener, man, like I did it and I was just like it felt like it was like I went backwards in the warm-ups or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so much better.
Yeah, I always feel like that too. That last one was like, okay. I mean, it feels like it makes your nerves kind of tickle a little bit. Like, you get out there and it's like you feel the crowd, you get that more energy coming from them. Plus, you're just out there on the platform. I feel it. Yeah. It's like, okay, it's nothing.
It's like that first hit in football. Like you're nervous for the game, and as soon as you get the first pop, like you're just like, all right, like,
we're in
like,
here now.
You go in the back, you start talking shit about the squat you were just so scared about everything. You know what I mean? Like
you're all fired up all over again for the next one. Like, bring this shit on. Let's go. So yeah, I got a question for y'all before we go to the next one or whatever. How did you two meet?
Dude, through you, man. You're Dr. Hitch. That's a leading question. He knew that was.
Yeah, I was about to say, this fucking answer.
It's just a little symbol of pride that I have. Just wanted to hear it.
So you started off.
So basically, Chad does these like the stories or whatever where like.
Ask me anything. I saw you post that today, and I was like, "What the hell is he gonna get for this fucking podcast?"
So like, he posted one, and then somebody. It was one like, submit who you think is hot or something like that, like a name or whatever. And so then somebody submitted Shane's name, and I like had never heard of him before, and so I was like, fuck it, like who is this guy? So I was like just searched him up on Instagram and I was like, okay, And so then I followed him, and then he followed me back eventually, but we were both doing the showdown. And so like I think I saw you were posting, and then I was like, oh, he's doing the same meet as me. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then he messaged me once, and then I like it was something about like my bench. Like he replied to a bench video on my story.
I was like trying to creep, but I was trying to be like subtle about it. So she would like post a bench video, and I was like, "That's a
Nice bench."
Yeah, nice bench. Something stupid, you know what I mean? And then she kind of like shut it. Like she didn't shut it down, but it was one of those like conversations that's not going anywhere. And I was just like, "All right, well, I'll see you in 4 weeks." And then she's like, "All right, good luck." And then I was like, "Fuck this." And I tried like I don't know, like a week later, I tried it again, and then just kind of hit it off and started blowing each other up and everything else. But the funny thing is that we were just talking about the current 2020. Like I went out there to go handle Craig Foster, and then Dan Bell was there too. So we all stayed at the same Airbnb. And then like that big group of people that went out after, we were all at the bar and stuff. And then we kind of bar hopped, and then there was like a huge party that came back to the Airbnb. She was there, and it was my Airbnb, and I was there, and so like we were all within the same.
No idea.
Even like watching the meet, like we were probably, I don't know, like on the other side of the aisle, basically, like the whole weekend, and we never met each other. We were literally in the exact same like 20 foot radius the whole time. Never met each other, and then
I met Craig and Shane's coach Sean before I met Shane, because we ended up at, I don't even think I was around you guys or anything, but like we were, everybody's at that bar, and then I somehow magically got into somebody's car. Like basically a bunch of people just like went into this car, and they were like, "Get in." And then I was all fucked up, and so I was like, "Okay, whatever." And so we all get in the car, and we just pull up to hit apparently it was his Airbnb. But again, yeah, it was Dan's. But I mean, I wasn't there for hella long, but I remember I went into the backyard and Craig was there. And then so I was just like, I just like pulled up a chair and I just like sat down. And I was like, "Nice squat, man." Or I said some stupid shit like that. And then yeah, that was it. But then like it was just weird because we like crossed paths, but like we, you know what I mean? Like we didn't like talk or anything.
Yeah.
So
then 6 months later, we're blowing each other up on Instagram, and then I literally came from the airport, and my boys picked me up, and then we picked her up, and then we literally like were together the entire weekend.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. She moved out to Florida 4 months later. So that's you, Chad.
I remember walking into the meet, like you were sitting in his lap, and I was like, "Huh, yeah, yes." Nice.
Yeah, that was like the first time we had actually met. So it was kind of funny because like I don't know, I'm not really like a big like PDA person. Like that's just not my vibe. But like I don't know, it's just like, like we were just like vibing hella good. So
the Jack Tim Allen got you.
Yeah, and now I live in fucking Florida. So
Where did you move from?
I was from California, but I lived up north. So
is that why you say hella? That's why you say hella?
Yeah. But so I grew up in the Bay Area. Gotcha. And I mostly lived there, and then I lived in Sacramento for a couple years, like off and on. And when I moved from California to Florida, I was moving from Sacramento.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Chad's page is like the ultimate resource, right? For entertainment, advice, OnlyFans sites. You got it all. We need to start we should start doing a show where we set people up, or like blind dates or some shit like that.
Probably do it. Like Love is Blind Powerlifter Edition.
Yeah.
That shit would have drama.
we do not take responsibility for any of the bullshit you guys go through.
Yeah, y'all are gonna have to.
We just set it up.
Get a waiver or something.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna need a waiver.
All right. We're gonna go with some
questions. Chad, did you have some from the Q&A? If not, I have some questions that we kind of wrote down.
No, I got a bunch of random shit that I'll probably have to go through later and talk shit. But unless Shane's dropping an OnlyFans link, some girls asking for all the guys' OnlyFans links. So unless Andy, you have one coming out soon, just let me know. I'll post your
Kiko's about to light some people up.
He's like, what?
that huge Asian guy. So fucking just drop that shit.
We'll
Okay.
go to me and she's like, "Are you prepared to have every male in the entire meet just hit on you the entire time?" And I'm just like, "That's not gonna happen." She goes, "It happens.
It happens
every
meet.
time."
Like when we were in Miami last year for Ghost, like literally, like every other sentence I would hear out of a guy's mouth to Shane is like, "Wow, you're handsome," or "You're the most handsome powerlifter ever." And I'm like, "Damn, like everybody loves you."
Hey, that's
Better hang on tight. Kiko.
more credit, no more clout for you.
I feel
That's
awkward
right.
even acknowledging it.
It's hard to say. What do you say? Oh, thank you. Or
Well,
like,
like my parent, like that live stream was like the A1, and it was like legit, and they had like Angelo and Garrett like doing the commentary or whatever, and like so my parents were all watching and everything else like that, and like I just remember like my mom and my dad messaging me, and they're like, "This Garrett guy just keeps calling you handsome and beautiful like the whole day. Like, do you know him?" And I was just like, "Yeah." Like, what do you say to that? You're just like, "Thanks, man, appreciate it."
okay, I'm gonna fire off like some quicker answer question or quicker questions to answer. Okay, let's see. What is your favorite porn category to watch?
Mine.
Everyone answers. We're all gonna answer.
Oh shit. Tell me.
Dude, I feel like the amateur stuff is like, because it's real. Like
You
that's
like that real stuff?
porn. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like that's not even like you can tell like when you're watching something, it's like
It's real.
You don't want it. You want the production too perfect, too quite.
yeah,
perfect.
like give me something realistic that like I can believe that.
Okay, Kiko.
I don't really watch porn, to be honest.
That's fine.
Like something about it is just like off to me. So I don't know. Like it's just like
Do you
don't
get
know.
mad that Shane watches porn, or does he? Or does he now?
Do you watch porn?
I've watched porn.
Well, yeah, I know you watched porn, but like, do you watch it now?
I mean, every once in a while, here you guys are gonna get me murdered on.
Unless you walk out of the house, he's like, "Hell yeah, where's the little?"
These are
course I watch
relationship
porn.
questions. This is why you're both on. That's a no comment. All right. Well, Chad's laughing. I like.
God.
I think like brunette or Asian. That's like my general categories.
I like the really shitty produced, like where it's obvious, like stepmom porn. That shit gets me.
Oh, the stepmoms.
Yeah, like she's like seducing the stepson. Like fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like real stepmom or like fake stepmom?
I mean, it's porn, so I know
must believe it's
it's got to be really
stepmom.
shitty, like a setup, or like the friends,
Filmed on an
the
Android.
friends mom, where you hook up with the friends moms, like that. That's a good one. Because we all had a hot friend's mom somewhere.
Shit storyline.
Oh,
shitty storyline. I thought you meant like
It meant like very corny, like very obvious.
Yeah, like a shitty storyline. Yeah, like because it's never good anyway. So just make it obvious that it's fake.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Do you guys do any drugs besides smoke? Obviously, Shane.
Dude, I am a card carrying recreational, medicinal marijuana member.
Yeah, he actually smokes weed legally now.
Yeah, she
Okay.
got me the card for my birthday.
Hard carrying.
Nice.
Card carrying member.
Legal.
Love to see it.
Kiko?
Drugs? Oh yeah.
Any recreational drugs?
I don't really do anything anymore. I'm like sober. Like I
Not
barely
even California sober.
Yeah, not even California
Dude.
sober. Like
Wow.
I barely drink honestly anymore. Like when we were in Texas, I had 2 beers the whole weekend. And like that was it. And besides like up until then I hadn't drank any alcohol at all for like a month and a half or something. So I've been like I've just been raw dogging life, like stone cold sober.
So you just take care of big baby Shane.
Pretty much. I mean, I have like whatchamacallit, like a
You had one cigarette that you were fired up about.
yeah. I also had one cigarette when we were in Texas, and he was like kind of giving me shit for it, and I was just like, what's wrong with a little cigarette?
You
know what I
put
mean?
a bunch of bullshit in your body all day. You're gonna get shit on me for one cigarette.
Yeah, I feel like
True.
I feel like people now, like, cigarettes are like a big like no to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a lot of people are like, ew, like they're gross or whatever. And meanwhile, they're like popping perks, fucking, doing all this crazy shit. But cigarettes is where they draw the line.
I think it's because like people can like smell it. It's like more physical versus like
I would like if you look at somebody that smokes a cigarette and like, I don't know, there's just something you're just kind of like
Chad just starts vaping.
I don't know.
They got the cigarette mug.
Cigarette vibe.
Yeah, like cigarette moms. Like you can just tell.
Chad, you can't legally do any drugs, right?
Hey man, I just take new peps and shit, nootropics.
Okay.
For my brain.
Okay. The military
and ibuprofen.
Military man can't do anything.
Do you think they really listen to this?
No.
Probably not, but he doesn't want.
But if I did do drugs and I admitted to it on here, some hating ass motherfucker would probably be like, look, he does drugs.
So okay, Chad, when you're out of the military, what drugs would you like to do?
Oh, bro, I have a fucking list. Hold on. Probably shrooms, little Molly here and there, probably. Whatever. I'm not gonna fool Larry Wills that shit. Do fucking meth or coke? No, not coke.
Bro, that podcast was ridiculous the other day.
He's not gonna be that fucking guy.
He's like, I would say that if you take Trenbolone, it's just as bad as like meth and heroin. Like they even out, and I'm just like, no.
He was saying Trend's worse.
Trend's worse than meth.
Like,
okay.
Bro, are you kidding? And then what pissed me off the most when he went off, he was like, I used to party hard all the time. Party drugs. I'm like, bro, when the fuck have you ever seen somebody pop out some meth at a party? The party's over. Once it's done, party's over. Party's over. This is a party of one. That's a dead ass party, bro. You're supposed to take some shit to make you fun, not fucking cracked out.
What's bad about that is like he has a platform, like he has a very large platform, and I'm not sitting there justifying, whatever. Like we're all adults, but like every freaking soy boy natty daddy reposted that clip from that podcast and was basically just like, told you, you know what I mean? Like straight from the horse's mouth. Like
Larry Wills is the authority on fucking mental health.
Yeah, right.
Okay, buddy, that's the wrong example either way, man. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But that's what you want to the hill you want to die on.
Have you ever met him before?
No.
Andy's. I know you've at least podcasted with him before. Have you met Larry in person, Andy?
Yeah, we actually sponsored him in this beginning. I hope he wasn't talking about us about that $700 thing, but I don't think that was right. But yeah, Larry he's like really nice, really humble, down to earth in person, and he's a great guy. I just think I'm not gonna try and like speak for him, but I think without like a father figure, he's kind of like just done things like the wrong stuff. But I think like just listening to him talk now versus 3, 4, 5 years ago, he's definitely matured a lot. But there's still some things that he
what's crazy to me is like if out of everybody, like he like made it in the sense that like he made like, I mean, I'm just like throwing it like 7 figures off of like powerlifting. You know what I mean? Like if there's one person that like made it and like lived in Dubai, got a whole mouthful of brand new teeth, like living fucking life, you know what I mean? Like off powerlifting. So like, I mean, the world records he hit and everything else was cool, but like that to me is like, I mean, that's there's one that's like done that. You know what I mean? Like you can talk to anybody that just like has a somewhat concept of of the gym or powerlifting, whatever, and you can just say Larry Wheels, like everybody knows who that is. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, he was able to definitely like take full advantage and monetize, because his first thing was like, oh, here's my program. Like he was like the first one in powerlifting to do it.
the
It was like
the
$20. He was making like 10K a day. It was freaking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And then he has the supplement company, and then the lifting straps and stuff, and then you know, and then obviously some sponsorships. But yeah, I think the only thing I just like, not that I like give him shit for, but I just wish he would like, if being strong is just be smarter about his training. That was it. But you know, his whole thing was like PRing, you know. So I mean, if that's what gave him like motivation and what he loved about lifting, then all, you know, all
it
props
literally
to
like
him.
became a job almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
but what I didn't like was the message he was saying was like, hey guys, you can just
max out every day.
you could just stop powerlifting and not take anything serious, and then just I'm gonna do a meet in 3 weeks and just PR. Like, no, like
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
so that's what I was just telling Chad, is like he has like this humongous platform, so it's like saying that, or like talking about like trend being worse than meth. Like there's a lot of 16-year-olds that are going to be like, okay, like he said it, I'm going to definitely listen to this. You know what I mean? Like that's gospel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Larry. I think that was just kind of an irresponsible statement to just drop like that. But yeah, watching him lift and shit back in the day was hella inspiring and shit. It was cool to see. I like him as a lifter. Some of the shit that was a little wild and not safe, but I think he lifts a little crazy. But the dude's a genetic freak, so give him kudos for that.
I think there's a lot of people that like you could almost like look at them and like, I don't necessarily not like anybody in powerlifting, but it's like you don't necessarily have to like them as a person to respect like what they can do with like some weight, and that doesn't justify like anything else or whatever else. But like it's like, you know, like I don't know, like that kind of, that's like the glue. That's the whole reason we're all talking and everything. You know what I mean? Is that like we all value that a whole lot. So like someone can like do something impressive with that, like, you know, you kind of have to just get a little bit of respect just out of that simple fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I tip my hat to it.
Yeah, exactly. Just hit that.
Call
Tip that.
it
Don't
a
do
day.
anything
Yeah.
more than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was cool.
I agree. I think there's a lot of people in powerlifting that I might not like ever be friends with, but I do respect them, and I'm always like surface level nice, and I would never talk shit
Yeah.
to them, you know.
Yeah.
I just think it's just a good practice to like not be an asshole and just leave all these doors open, because you never know when it'll lead to something too. So just
Well, don't shit where you eat, in the sense that like it's a small community, so it's like you get banned. You know, you make waves in one spot. You know, you're banned from like, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the craziest or funnest, weirdest place you guys have had sex before?
I thought this would be a question.
I didn't answer my recreational drug one. I'll answer that real quick. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. Once in a while, I'll do Molly on special occasions like birthday parties or whatever, raves.
Chad was there the first
Chad
time
knows.
I did
That was funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't think
And
you
then-
left that chair.
And then place I've had sex. I've had sex on a tennis court, like during
Just like on the court?
Yeah.
Were the lights on?
It was nighttime, but the lights were on, but there was no one there, but there could have been. It wasn't like late. So
Dude, those courts are abrasive.
it was definitely standing, trust me. Just
He gets up, he's just got fucking raw
road
cheeks,
rash.
just fucking all the grinding.
no. Standing doggy. I can't. I'm not getting on the floor.
Over the pole.
On the net.
Ball to the net.
Where's the weird place?
Chad?
Hey, babe,
I want
come here. Okay, we'll stay out of the camera. Where's the craziest place we had sex at? It's been a lot. Oh, we did. So we went and grabbed some Uber Eats one time at her old apartment, and we just put the food down in the stairwell and just went at it for a few minutes. And then some people started coming in the stairs, so that was a scramble. That was great. Made some good content though.
Usually I'd be going after the food, but you just went after the sex.
Well, I feel like you don't want to do it after you eat because then you're all like.
Because then you get lazy. You gotta take a nap. Then it's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna lay back on this couch and catch some Z's.
Let me put my belly on your back.
Like a seesaw.
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be crazy. Just anywhere not like
in our home.
In your bed.
Well, I mean, at the Airbnb we were just at, like, so we had a house full of like, we had like the master bedroom, but like it was a house full of like.
Tell a story.
Well, I mean, it's just whatever. But we're just like, it's a house full of like 12 people, so it's like, and like the way everything was set up, it's like.
You don't really have. It's like you don't.
There's
have
no privacy.
There weren't walls. It was like a partition, and then like you could like look over it into the kitchen if you wanted to. And so
there's like bathroom stalls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a nice bathroom stall. Like I said, nicest Airbnb I've ever stayed at. But it had a huge like master bathroom, and so like I mean like we would just kind of just go in the bathroom and just fucking turn the shower on and stuff, and just kind of do it all over the bathroom. But like. This was after the meet, so everyone's like hammered, and so like Dawson and Shane are like they're like, you know, they go from one room to the other, coming back forth, and like her and I go in the bathroom, and then she was like, I think they're outside the bathroom right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard like other Shane like yelling, like I think he was looking for you. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, and that's we were.
And then I was like, oh shit. But then, like, I just heard, like, you know, the footsteps, like, walk away. And then I was like, okay, fuck it.
But I feel like in that situation, everyone has, like, this, you know, unsaid thing. Like, it's pretty normal. Like, it's not like, oh, my God. Right?
A couple disappeared. I wonder what they're doing. They're back.
I think that's, like, I mean, I don't really think anything crazy. We're hella vanilla, honestly.
I like vanilla.
Like,
Vanilla's cool with me.
Oh, so it's missionary on the bed.
Dude, so I'm big. I get out of breath pretty easily, and especially getting ready for a meet, you know how bad and sweaty you can get, and you know, feel like you're having a heart attack. So it's like it's get in, get out.
Iron
Kelvis. Okay, I'll do two more. Okay, let me see. Okay, what's the weirdest thing you've ever done to try and make money? Weird or just different?
Dude, I used to sell hella plasma in college.
Like in parking lots, or you just like
not in parking lots? So they would have like a facility, right? And so like you could like it was like next to my college, so like you could go there, and like if you timed it right, it was like every like 5 days you could go or something. So you could hit like a Monday and a Friday in the same week if you like timed everything out right. It was like $50 or something like that. But like I would literally do that every 5 days for like at least a year and a half. You know what I mean? Like wow. I don't know how good that really was for me or not, but I mean you're a broke kid in college, like $100, like $50 a week. Like it's like gas. That's a little bit of food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In high school. Since I grew up in San Diego, so I would drive down to TJ, me and my friends once in a while, and get a bunch of painkillers, and I sold them in school, like Oxy and Somas and shit.
Where like in the stairwell? Jesus. In the
bathroom, locker rooms.
Was there a system like people knew to like meet you? You would just meet like random people, and they were like.
They just knew. It was I honestly remember it was $5 for $5. That's all I remember.
It's a deal.
Yeah, that's a deal.
I mean the whole bottle of like 200 was like $10, so I don't whatever. And I didn't take them. Like I wasn't into drugs. I was like, so I definitely profit more because I wasn't taking my own shit.
I was gonna say,
but the scariest part is like bring it through the fucking
that's the border.
the border. Yeah, like back then. I mean, I'm fucking old, so it was like 20 years ago. So I would take the bottle, pour it into like plastic bags, and tape it to my shins, and wear pants, and walk through the border.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, it was sketchy. Trust me.
His chin's just fucking rattling.
What's that movie? It's like the Midnight Express or something about the guy who's trying to sneak all the it's like the hashish or whatever over from like somewhere in Turkey, and he gets like, I don't know. There's like all kinds of like movies like that, dude. Like it's like it ends bad for people sometimes, so that's scary as shit.
Yeah. Chad,
Oof.
you're hustled.
Chad's got a
well, so like in school and shit, I used to sell. I would steal. I used to steal brass knuckles and shit, knives, shears, and shit like that. And I would sell them in school. That and not burn CDs. I used to hustle. I used to burn CDs. I would sell.
Oh yeah.
Other shit, illegal shit. And then when I grew up, I actually I just stripped a couple times for some bachelorette.
Ooh.
So,
what's the weirdest, the most uncomfortable stripping situation you've been in? Like you showed up and you're like, ah, shit.
You know, man. So I went to their room and we're supposed to just, give them a little show, whatever the fuck. And it just got a little out of hand.
Handsy. A little handsy. Yeah,
it got a little in hand, I guess you could say. It was just really fucking. And I was like, "Is this all right?" I was just kind of like questioning myself, like, "Is this okay?" But I was kind of faded, so I was like, "I don't know, fuck it." So, yeah. Damn. But then one of my boys was with me. He was like, well, "You gotta go." I was like, "All right, you're right. I need to pull my shit together." So he pulled me out of there. And then part of the deal was like they buy me drinks and shit when we went down to the rest of the normal party. So I just joined the party then. But the whole night's kind of a blur because I was fucking loaded.
So you did that for drinks, like not like money?
No, I got paid too. But I'm saying like part of the deal was like everything I did
and he got paid.
Yeah.
You gotta get some liquid courage.
Yeah. So I was like a little too lit, I think, going into the party part. And then I got more lit afterwards. But
my grandma, she's got to be almost like 90. I think for her 85th birthday, she was having like a luncheon or like a brunch with her old lady friends, and like I think it was like my aunt or somebody like hired a stripper for like the grandma, and so like she was all embarrassed, but like the dude was like, dude, like professional, like did the whole deal, like was grinding her on the chair and everything else like that. But like imagine being that guy and he shows up and he's like, I gotta woo this old ass lady and all these old ladies, you know what I mean? Like,
no, but that might be easier.
No, I would have
might be easier. They don't need much.
Yeah, but I've been about it. Somebody would have to get the pacemaker out. Like,
just give her a heart attack right there.
Hell yeah, whip out the banana hammock and fucking just start wailing on her. Shit. Okay, I'm too big now. I'll probably break her hip, but
Walker.
Fucking do it. Use the walker as a prop. Yeah, shit, that's too easy, bro. Fuck yeah.
Shane, do you guys get like a lot of do you have like a lot of, not a lot, like free time to like travel? Like just in general, like vacation or
we're doing a little more traveling this year, but it's kind of hard with her work schedule. Like we both work from home, but like her PTO schedule is a little different. So like whenever we do get time, like we'll try and either go to like California. We're planning a trip to Washington a little later this year. I'm going to be I don't even know if I should say that or not as far as like the Dave Tate thing.
I don't know.
I'm going to be on a podcast in Ohio in July. So like we're flying out there. One of my sponsors is the Reach Supplements, and I'm not going to be competing at the pro, but like he's flying me out to that. So like just to work the booth or whatever else. So we'll be out there in August. And then I got October. Yeah. And then I actually have a bachelor party next week in Vegas, and then we're directly going to the wedding from there. So it's kind of like a hangover situation.
Yeah. It's
like a 4-day deal. So like I got some traveling coming up this year, but it's it's whenever we can kind of get it in the schedule.
Okay. I was gonna say if you had time, in July, but it looks like you're gonna be going to Ohio. But we're all gonna be in Vegas for nationals, for USPA nationals. So be a lot of Fire and Rebel athletes there. So if we could get you out there and hang out at the booth and do some filming, that'd be awesome. But just if you can, let me know. But if not, it would be it's during the week. It's during the week. It's July 10th through 14th. But even if you come for like two of those days or something, like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever.
Yeah, we can figure something out after the podcast or whatever. I think that's like, I don't know. I think that's kind of the cool thing as far as like, I don't know, like it's last meet or just kind of in general. Like it's like kind of taking like more advantage of like being a part of the community or like doing things with like you said, going to the pro and in October, or like, you know, doing that podcast in July or whatever, even something like that. Like, it's just like, you know, when am I really going to have, you know, the chance to kind of do other stuff like that? You know what I mean? You don't know how long like everything's going to be around for, or just like when things like that come up. But Arnold has been on my bucket list for, I can't tell you how many. I watch it, like you can ask her, like I stay glued to my phone for the entire weekend watching like people's stories or YouTube channels and like living vicariously through it. Like I want to go so bad, but I've just never made it out that way. But
yeah, well, maybe next year.
You know, we'll see.
Yeah,
I've never even been to Vegas.
What? Okay, then you have to come.
Yeah, I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah, and like we'll have an Airbnb, so it'll be really easy. So
yeah, I've been to the Vegas airport probably like 20 times. Because when we were like before I moved to Florida, we were flying back and forth to like see each other, and these were like the shitty, cheap flights.
Frontier,
right?
baby.
Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the airport that we'd always have to do like a connecting flight at was Vegas.
Yeah,
and it was always this like 8-hour fucking layover.
11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And you'd have to like sleep on the floor at the Vegas airport. But like there's weird people because it's Vegas. So it's like there's 3 a.m. Like there's people just walking around like zombies. Like everything's closed. You can't get food. There's people like they have like little casino sections. So like there's still people like on the slots at like 4 a.m. like ripping a cigarette with a butt as long as my pinky. You know what I mean? Like it's weird, man. You feel like you're like on the moon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vegas is different. Vegas is like Florida, but with like more entertainment.
It's all like condensed in like one little spot.
Yeah.
You know?
It's dry. Florida's wet.
Yeah. All right. Cool, guys. Well, I gotta go. So we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, we'll probably post this next week because I suck at editing in time. But yeah, hopefully you guys can come to Vegas. We'll talk about that later. But other than that, you know, keep training hard and good luck with everything.
Appreciate it, man. You guys have a good one, and we'll be chatting with you.
All righty.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye, guys.